traditional man. He doesn't want to put his feelings out there. That's how we as again, men, our purpose in life is to battle, breed, to raise our families, make sure we take care of all the emotional stuff. We leave that to the woman, that's the mom. But we do show our moments of love and support. We may not say it to you directly, but we try to show it to you physically or whatever we can do for you. And that's the good that he does that. Like I said,
Right.
most men would say, "My daughter get in the bodybuilding. I don't want my daughter to be like my son. Or I got a boy. I need another boy. I want my girl to be a girl." But it's good that he supported you. He stand by you. Like I said again, most people don't understand about the sport. And anything when you think about bodybuilding, you think about two people: Schwarzenegger, Lou Ferrigno, the Incredible Hulk, and the Terminator. You don't think about people like Daniel Bagley or Lee Haney or Andrea Shaw because most 99% of the people don't know nothing about bodybuilding. We had discussion quite often, but us who are here, like my man Lawrence, my man KL, Stephen Prey, we are a fan of you ladies. We're a fan of the sport, and we support y'all. People out there who have a problem with y'all, like my man Bernie Mac says, "Fuck 'em." You know, that's them. You gotta live for you. You can live
Hmm.
nobody else but for yourself. I'm talking to you like you're one of my nieces. And one of my greats, I do regret that I didn't have children of my own, but did enjoy being an uncle and helping them along their way as they were growing up. And if anything, if I was your father, I would say this, baby, I love you. I'm glad you're doing this. You found yourself your own path. You went through hell and high water. And I know when you were service, he was worried about you. I remember my mother was worried about my niece and my nephew when they were serving, and I know my sister was too, because those were her two last two children. But it's good that you're here now. You went through hell and high water. You're standing here tall. Most people don't understand what it takes to be who they are or find their path. Sometimes some people, even like I said, I'm 50 years old. I'm gonna keep saying that because I'm half a century, and there's still things I'm still learning as I get older and get mature. I hope to live maybe another 3 more years. Genetics can be funny, but if I learn anything from my discussion with you ladies, your passion, your determination, your hard work, and your ethics. Because this sport, there's a lot to it, and to do it, I gotta give respect. We have here Darren St. Pierre. He says, shout out to Darren. He says, PPTH Tory. You know that?
I don't
I
know.
thought somebody, I don't know, something,
Mhm.
maybe somebody's popping. I don't know. Might be that weird guy we had the last time on one of my live streams, but we get weird. So anyway, uh, are you right now currently being sponsored? Because that's one thing important. Sponsored does help.
I'm sponsored by Wrath Performance. Currently, that is the only sponsorship I have at the moment. They're a supplement slash clothing brand. It's just a lot of guys, a lot of men and women that look like me, heavily tattooed, and bodybuilders and ride motorcycles, and that's kind of the style. It was founded by Frank McGrath. He's If you don't know him, he's got a huge following. They're Canadian, it's half Canadian, half American built company. And so, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Canadian bodybuilders. I've had quite a few ladies up here from the up north, and just amazing ladies. They have that a bit of that European American style when it comes to muscle. I would say it
Right.
like this, and it's good to have sponsorship to help you because you know what? There's so much expense. I said again, it costs you your suits, travel to the shows, paying your coach, getting food. We're just oh god, we're going through a mess. We're going to survive the next 4 years, praise the Lord. But but it's good that she has sponsorship because the thing I think will help. Like anybody out there who's interested in sponsoring her, who have a genuine interest, that helps out. But guys, I don't want to hear this guy says, "Hey there, Marissa, I seen you. You all tatted. Yeah, no, 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 stop that, you sick freak. You know who you are. This is what
Right.
you should do. Young Miss Waters, we are very interested in you. Your service for our country, who you are, your passion, your determination, what you've been through. I would say this: I own a company, and we're looking for brand ambassadors. And we like your resume, and we might be interested in adding you to our brand. So if you feel comfortable with the product, it's something that you think you use, and maybe work with you and yourself in your life, we like you to be part of it. So let us know what you need from us, and we'll let you know what we need from you. And we want to have a great relationship. So would you be interested in this partnership, madam?
Um, I mean, yeah, I'll just have to check out the content and see if it kind of aligns with my life, and if it all works out, I'd love to be able to represent you. So,
All right, and now I'm going to say, "Shut the contact, baby." But yeah, it's good. I think most definitely all. I know everybody's not going to ever gonna be that, but it's great that somebody offer people like yourself that opportunity because you deserve it. You worked hard, you trained hard. I know everybody's not going to be the top, selling bodybuilder. Never going to be like the Chris Bumsteads or the Samson Duas or even Andrea or Sarah or anything like that. But it's y'all competitors who have your boots on the ground, 10 toes down, doing what you're doing, staying passionate, being consistent, and just loving what you're doing. I gotta respect that. We got a comment from my man KL. He has a question. He says, he says, did getting tattoos hurt?
uh, depends on depends on the area. If he's going off of what he can see, my face, like, that was like a 7 out of 10. It wasn't big enough for it to really hurt. The front of the neck's a lot easier than the back of the neck. The back of the neck sucks. It's really bad. Just because, like, all the nerves and stuff like that. I also started down in the middle of my back and went up, and so at the point when it got to the back, my pain threshold was gone. But there's a lot of spots that are super easy. Like, and I tattoo people for a living, so I always try to tattoo people the way that I like getting tattooed, as quick and as painless as possible, and it looks professional and well done. So other than that, like, some tattoos don't hurt at all. It's kind of therapeutic, quite honestly. I have a lot of my clients that come in for the therapeutic part of it. You know what I mean? So there's some spots that hurt a lot, like elbows, like sternums, chests, um, anything like, this is called a ditch, right? So that front part, those will start bruising if you get a big enough spot. Like, whenever you get it tattooed in the healing process, but they weren't bad. Truly, they
Yeah.
weren't bad. So,
Yeah, I say I worked at a strip club for a long time. I seen girls with tattoos on the booty, the birds, and little stuff like that. The one especially close to the cooch. I mean, like I wouldn't want to be a tattoo, but you got to be professional. That thing got to be professional. Yeah, I couldn't be. I'm in my coming out on
mhm.
purpose. So I'm with that. But yeah, it's a lot. I don't know. I don't want no. It's one thing you get a needle put in your arm to get blood. I don't want nothing dragged across my skin. Nah, that's just me. I got enough scars and stuff like that. Those are my tasks. I'm gonna stick with those. So, folks, we do appreciate the time you're giving us. You know, he got one more question to ask before we let you go. He says this. He says, "What made you start doing tattoos? Because you draw really well."
So, what made me start tattooing? I had a friend of mine that I went in with him, because he asked me to go with him to get tattooed. I had like two sleeves at that point. Like, sleeves are like two full arms, or two, but I'm talking about my arms. And so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go in and with him, and we were there for a while at the tattoo shop, and the topic of art came up. And I've always drawn growing up. I actually specialize in portraits, cover ups, diluted black and gray realism, which is just like stuff like this, where you can see like faces and stuff like that, and like just more realism. This is actually a cover up, but it's the Virgin Mary. And so I specialize in more of that stuff. So, and what I used to draw was a lot of portraits and stuff like that. I can always post more of that stuff on my social media so you can see that. But the topic of art came up while I was like, while my friend was getting tattooed. And so I showed the tattoo artist my art, and he was really impressed by it. And at the same time I showed him, the owner of the shop walked in and he was like, "Oh, I want to see." And I showed him, and he offered me an apprenticeship. And so, um, going all the way back, I was the only kid in my, like, in the house that had a desk in a room, and I showed an interest to art from really, really early. And I would draw pictures out of these magazines, because this is before like having iPads and iPods and iPhones and stuff. So I just draw pictures out of magazines, submit them into the fair, win like $20 for a blue ribbon, like first place stuff. And I would walk around the fair with my siblings, and we would go play like the basketball and like the ski ball and all that kind of stuff, and like go on the Ferris wheel. But I used to do that for free, and then, or like, win small prizes, and now I tattoo people for a living for a lot of money an hour. You know what I mean? So it's really cool how it comes for full circle. Like I said, I just truly believe that my gift, like, I get to use for other people now. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, it doesn't have to be bad jail looking tattoos. I always say that it can be professionally done, and it can be artwork, and it can speak your personality. So, yeah.
So where you work? Anybody in the area who's interested, who's watching this live stream, who's interested in doing tattoo, where you work at, and And just so you can want to share it if anybody want to come around, maybe get some work done.
I live in Missouri, so I tattoo in Osage Beach at Leo's Sweet Ink. And so I can comment on this post and put that there too. You know what I mean? But Leo's Sweet Ink in Osage Beach in Missouri. It's kind of like the Lake of the Ozarks. So I'm sure a lot of people have heard of the Lake of the Ozarks, but that's where it's at. So. Mhm.
Okay, okay. So, folks, we're not gonna hold much longer. We do appreciate the time you've given us to do this interview. Wish congratulations again, now being an IFB Pro. I mean, hope we do get this opportunity to see you on the big stage sometime soon, be it wherever show, and just wish it. What's this? This is my last question I ask you. What would you want out of bodybuilding for yourself as a whole?
What was your question? It cut out. I'm sorry.
What would you want out of bodybuilding for yourself as a whole?
What would I want out of bodybuilding? Um, like the bigger picture, like in like 5 or 10 years. Are you saying like that's what like
Yeah,
the biggest goal is like to
yeah.
bodybuilding? Um, I'd love to qualify for the Olympia. That'd be amazing. I'd love to qualify for the Olympia and then compete against my posing coach, Sharonica Hinton. I would love to be up there against her. You know what I mean? Um, that would be the ultimate goal. You know what I mean? And again, I was raised poor. I could live the rest of my life poor as long as I'm happy. I don't need a bunch of sponsorships or anything like that. I'd love to get sponsored by like Uprising, and they're great. Other than that, I really want to meet Martin Fitzwater. Like if for some reason I like get up in that like level and I get to meet Martin Fitzwater, I would just um love to have a conversation with him. Like I have a lot of respect for him, and then just like start meeting some of the people that I looked up to, and then ask them their why. And so ask them why they started and what got them into it, and like have that human interaction with them. I just really want to meet people that have that like cut from a different cloth mindset. So it would be to one, qualify for the Olympia, meet some like heavy hitters of people, and then just kind of create a community in that. You know what I mean? So um other than that, that's really I think all I would like to do. So
Well, that's good. That's something you should strive for. Everybody should strive for what they want, especially in this life. I can tell you, I grew up poor. I'm broke now, but I grew up poor. We had to do stuff. We had to, we actually lived in a small house. Four bedrooms. We, get up morning, so we had to chop wood, and we had an outhouse. Yeah, I can tell you, I was poor. Being like I said, some of the sharecroppers. But yeah, it's good to finally get to where you want to in your life. Find yourself, find your path, and work on your goals. And it's good that your dad's there, your brothers and sisters is there, and and also your coach, great guy. I remember talking about the thing about, and I had a friend, she competed in Anaheim. They would stay in a motel. They had to still have to pay for parking. That is so stupid. What the hell? You stay in a motel. Why gotta pay for parking? But we do appreciate the time you're giving us here, and wish you best of luck. Anybody want to shout out before we let you go?
anybody I want to shout out before I go? Is that
Yeah,
what you said?
yeah.
I want to shout out my coach, Taylor Moore. I think that again, God gave him a gift and he gets to use his gift for other people. And I'm truly thankful for who he is and the man, like just who he is, and then him, how he's treated me and put me in the position that I am, with me being a professional athlete. I want to shout out Lacey Pruitt. I think she's hands down one of the best women's bodybuilders and coaches. Like she's like the women's coach. Shout out my twin sister. She is a huge influence in my life. Truly couldn't have done it without her. My father, of course, I love him. Shout out to him. He is just a heavy hitter. He's smart and super wise, and I'm super happy that he was my dad in this lifetime. Other than that, I want to just talk about my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I couldn't have done it without him. I felt like I've done a lot of things in life apart from him, but him being in my life got me to get to this position now. To my God-sized purpose, and now it's to educate or work with people and teach them the things that I know because I couldn't have done it without him. Other than that, I I think that might be it. I think those are all the people I want to touch base with. So
That's
yeah.
good. That's good. The people that matter. That's all really truthfully. That's the people that matter. We do appreciate Marissa taking the time here. I want to shout out to my man's here, my brothers coming here, my man Stefan Prey, KL the Wonder, Lois Perkins, Darren St. Pierre, anybody who watched this live stream, support these ladies who, just not the ladies, also the men too. I know you guys are more fan of the ladies because you like the big muscle ladies, but support all these competitors in sport. This is a tough sport. So much risk, little reward, but they do it for a passion. Reach out with genuine interest, guys. You get more with a silk glove than an iron fist. And just show that, you know what, I wish you all the best in your career, whatever you do in life, what you do.